I'm Walter Tubbs with Greenway Equipment. Today we're going to talk about the settings on an E23 transmission, which are available in the 7 and 8R series tractors. As far as we're going to talk about navigating to the screens, the first way, the easiest way to get to the transmission screen is if you're on your tractor default run page. You can just reach up and tap the transmission section and it'll bring up your transmission settings page. You can also hit the transmission key on your shortcut bar, which looks like a gear, and if you hit it, it'll also bring up your transmission run page. And you can also go to menu, that'll take you to machine settings, then you can click on transmission and bring up your transmission pages. Now, one thing we can notice when we're on this page, we have 3 different modes that we can run this transmission in. We can run it in full auto, which is where the setting is now. We can also change it and run it in custom mode, or we can run it in manual mode. One thing about the E23, if we have it in manual mode, we basically can adjust our eco on and eco off settings, unlike the other transmissions that are in manual mode are just strictly manual mode. As far as our eco, if we turn our eco on, we see that our minimum engine RPMs is set at 1250. If we want to change that, we can click on the button and we can either increase or decrease our minimum engine RPMs with eco on. We can also turn eco off, and our eco off right now is set at 1850. We can click on that and we can increase or decrease our engine RPMs with eco off. Now that's basically going to set our lower threshold as far as to not let our engine lug down any lower than that without shifting the transmission either up or down to maintain your engine RPMs. We can also look here, we see our set speeds as far as our F1 and our F2 set speeds, and our R1 and our R2 set speeds. Right now our F2 is set at 1.4, our F1 is 1.1. To change those, basically we take the shift lever out of the park position and bring it into neutral. And if you notice on the corner post, right now it says neutral. You can see the auto light, and then there's a number 2. If we roll the thumb wheel, we change our set speed in our speed band 2. If we touch speed band 1 on the armrest, it changes it to speed band 1, and we can also scroll up or scroll down to change what our speed band 2 is set at. If we need to change our reverse settings, we have to put it in reverse to get our reverse settings. Make sure you have the clutch engaged and the brake applied if you're going to adjust your reverse settings. Right now we'll push number 1 and we've got the auto up. We can scroll down or scroll up to adjust our R1 settings. We can push our number 2 button and we can scroll up and scroll down to set our R2 speeds. Once we set those, we bring it back out, apply it back in park. Also here on the manual, we can select what gear we start in. As far as F1, right now we're showing the start in forward 6th. If we wanted to change that, we can click our 1 and then we can select which gear we want to start in. If we want to go from 6th down to 4th, we can click 4th, say OK, and now we'll start in 4th gear. Same thing with speed band 2. Right now it's set for 7. If we want to change that, we'll click on 2. We can scroll down and say we want to start in 8th gear in speed band 2. We can click OK, and now we have changed those forward start gears. We also can adjust our max speeds. Right now our max speed forward shows to be 12 miles per hour. If we click on that, we can increase or decrease our max speed up to its physical limits. We can also increase our reverse speed. Right now it's set to 3. We can increase our reverse speed or decrease our reverse maximum speed. Also, whatever settings we adjust in manual, we also maintain those settings when we get to our custom settings. Now our custom settings is going to allow us to set pretty much the same thing we have in manual, but it's also going to let the tractor basically gear up and throttle back in order to maintain fuel efficiency. Now, when you're in custom mode, you can also go to custom settings, which custom settings, you can go in here and you can set your droop percentage with your PTO on or with your PTO off. When we talk about droop, we're talking about how far we're going to allow the engine to pull down before the engine RPMs will level out at a given RPM, and it starts reducing other functions in order to maintain the engine RPM. Here we've got the engine droop with the PTO on set at 6%. If we tap on that, we can either increase the number for a larger percentage or we can decrease. 6% droop is the lowest percentage we can have with PTO on. We can also adjust PTO droop off as far as up or down. You can hit the minus button to go down, or you can hit the plus button to go up. 14% droop is the lowest percentage of droop you can get with the PTO off. You can also, we have a feature called load anticipation, which means when you're going to turn the PTO on, you're going to activate the hitch or you're going to activate an SCV. Basically, it will give the engine a signal to increase the RPMs in expectation of whatever function you're going to perform. In order to turn it on and off, you basically just click the on or off button and it switches on and off on each one of them. Most customers run them with load anticipation on. That way they won't experience the engine RPMs drooping when they do activate a function. Also, we have full auto mode, and if we go into full auto mode, you notice that all of your eco settings gray out and you can't touch any of these and adjust it because the computer on the tractor is actually controlling all the functions and it's trying to maintain maximum fuel performance with the least amount of engine RPMs or the highest transmission gear. We can still go in and we can adjust the gears that you start with in forward, in 1 and in 2. We can also change the speed as far as maximum speeds forward and reverse, and we also can, if you notice, adjust the F1 and your F2 speed bands with it in full auto mode. And that's all of our transmission adjustments. Okay,